Welcome to Mindless Entertainment. It is I, God Empress Jessie Milestone, and I have really missed saying that. My voice is not at 100%, but it's as good as it's been in over a month now, so here we go. Plus, this thing, I heard this story, and I was like, I can't not share this with the world because it upsets me so viscerally. If I hold this in, it's just going to be toxic for me. It'll probably just make my voice deteriorate more. So here goes. Good friend of mine. Someone who is, I am good friend. I'm not going to name names because it may protect everyone's identity. But a good friend, he's new to LA, and he's learning the dating scene. He's actually doing a pretty gosh darn good job of it. This guy's good at getting laid. It's just a thing he's really good at. He's good at meeting chicks and having sex with them. He's solid at relationships too, but like right now he's getting his feet wet and he's getting his dick wet. So whatever, it's just what he's doing right now. And it's going great. Not everyone's a winner. He strikes out sometimes too, and it's all right. He's like one of the most optimistic guys I know. He just toodles around and just, okay, that didn't work out, on to the next one. Cool. So this is happening, right? He connects with some chick on one of the dating sites, and they hit it off. They're chatting. They've been chatting, probably he was out of town and whatnot, so they were chatting about a week. And then they make plans to get together. So they've got to know each other a little bit. They really like each other. All right, let's get dinner. They get dinner. And she's saying some things. She's talking about, like, the patriarchy and just a few little, like, red flag warning signs where he's like, I'm not sure that we're on the same page about life and stuff. And if she has these certain attitudes, I'm just not sure that's going to lead to a healthy relationship. So he's starting to feel like, nah, maybe not. And then somewhere towards the end of the evening, she kisses him. And he's like, oh, okay, so that's where she's at. Okay, modern feminist making the first move, fine, but also clearly she wants this. So he's like, all right, well, I could clearly go back to her place and do the thing that you do when you go back to someone's place at that time of night, and then ghost her, like most shitheads in LA do. But he decided to do the noble thing, which was let her down easy. It's a first date, whatever, it didn't work out. Cool. No harm, no foul. Like, we'll just go our separate ways. It's nice to know you. There's one little catch in here, though. And that catch is that they do have a mutual friend. Specifically, he's more friends with the guy, and she's more friends with his lady. But she's known them for really well, and he knows them too. So this is like this weird little connection here. Cool. So then he offers to take her home. Because I guess, I don't know if he picked her up in the first place, whatever it was. And buys her dinner, too, by the way, which is always funny to me when, like, someone who's like, I'm super woke, and I'm so feminist, and so progressive. It's like, but yeah, you can buy me dinner. I'm sorry, you don't get to spout one thing and then do the other. Like me, I have opinions on the role of the sexes, and I have opinions that include there being inequalities and there being, a history of mistreatment of women and certain issues that happen to women. There are also men's issues. Men have their own issues too. I don't really know about those because, like, men never talk about their feelings, so I can't ask them. But, like, I acknowledge that they have their issues too and all that stuff, right? But on the flip side, I'm not going to walk around being like, I'm a feminist and equality is tantamount and women are the best, or equality is paramount, I guess, and women are the best. But buy me dinner, please. Like, no. Or is that like reparations? Is that like, oh yeah, well, we get equality, but you still have to buy me dinner because you're people owned by people. Not how that one works. Anyway, so he's bought her dinner. He's offered to take her home, and very much let me give you a ride. Not like, how long to take you home? Like, let me give you a ride. Like, let's finish up. I'll give you a ride home. Okay, cool. And they get in the car, and she pounces on him, just like full on making out, like rah. And he kind of gently removes her and is like, all right, let's not, and she's like, well, do you want to come back to my place? And he's like, not really. And she's like, well, then when can I see you again? And he's like, look, I just don't think that we're gelling. No worries. I'm not feeling it. I don't think there's gonna be a second date. At which point she starts crying and screaming and just having a full-on breakdown tantrum in his car, at which point which is way nicer than I'd be. He was like, well, I don't want to strand her in this kind of not so awesome neighborhood. I know she doesn't have a lot of money for Lyft and stuff. I will still give her a ride home. Even though she's screaming at him all sorts of things about, obviously, like, he just, saw a pair of tits and thought he could get in bed with her, which is like pointedly no, because she offered to get into bed and that, oh, well, you emotionally manipulated me, making you think you liked me just to reject me, just to turn me down. Like, no, he did think he liked you, and then you were crazy, so he didn't like you. Like, maybe don't be crazy and people will continue to like you. I don't know. Maybe it's not his fault. Maybe it's yours. But anyway, so the whole ride home is just berating him this entire time about how awful and terrible he is, screaming at him. Well, this dude's giving him a fucking ride home. Come on. Again, I would have dumped her in her ass a long ago. I'd be like, get the fuck out of my car, bitch. No, you don't get it. You don't get to do this. You don't get to play these games. Anyway, so he gives her this ride home. The one thing he manages to get in is like, look, I know that, this guy is our mutual friend. And like, we may end up, if we end up running into each other at another thing, I'm not going to say anything about it. I'm just going to pretend like none of this crazy happened. We had a date, it didn't work out. That's all anyone needs to know, okay? And she doesn't care. Apparently, every time he tries to talk, she just tells him to shut up, and then he doesn't get to talk. They get to her place. She gets out, slams the door, punches the window. Boom! Probably way too weak from being a vegan to do any damage, and then stalks inside. Cool. And then calls up this mutual friend, bawling her eyes out with her version of events, which my friend doesn't even find out until later because we'll get to that. So he gets a text from this guy the next day and is like, dude, what happened? I want to hear your side, basically. So Bill tells this story that I just told you, and his friend goes, that's bullshit, you're lying to me. Bill's like, what? No. And then he's like, dude, you know me, like, does that sound like, am I this kind of, and he's like, I barely know you. I don't know you at all. Don't play that card. Did I say the name of my friend? I said the name of my friend. Oh, well, whatever. He's a person. Don't play that game with me. I know, like, don't just try to make the women's crazy argument. It's not going to work on me, bro. I know who you are. I know what kind of toxic man you are, and I just don't want you coming around anymore. And I'm really doing a bad job of protecting identities. But anyway, my friend was like, F that. Okay. All right. That's who you are. That's the way you're going to treat your friends. Just immediately dismissive and cool. We're not friends anymore. And then turns out these two share another mutual friend. And he had plans with her, and so he was like, I should probably text her and make sure that things are copacetic. So he texts her. He's like, hey, I don't know if you heard about any of this. This is really horrible, but I just want to make sure we're still on for whenever. And she shoots back, I think anybody who's going to treat another person that way doesn't deserve to be in my life. Meh. And he's like, okay, sorry for wasting your time. Bye. Like, I'm not going to reason with these people, and justifiably so. Just, like, if your friends are going to immediately turn around and be like, you're not my friend, this chick's my friend, and you're obviously a liar, screw you, obviously not your friend. So, no great loss here. But there are a lot of problems with this story. So, first of all, I ended up contacting my friend's friend, because we connected, information. We met at a thing, and I was like, first of all, let's talk about the hypocrisy of you getting on someone else's case about being a toxic man when the first thing you said to that guy after I left your party was, your friend's got a great ass. Like, sorry, you don't get it both. You don't get to be Mr. Woke, Mr. Woman, protector of women, and then walk around being like, chick's got a great ass. Like, fuck you, dude. Fuck you, first of all. So throughout our interchange, I'm getting a little more of her version of events, which is essentially what she told them was the complete opposite. Just the totally flip. As everything that she did, she said my friend did. And just totally what? Which doesn't even make sense on so many levels, because apparently he invited her back to his place, which is quite impossible because he's currently living on somebody's couch. So he doesn't have a place. So I'm like, all right, your friend's lying. So there you go. That's bullshit. Chick's full of shit. And then in her version, my friend is taking her home, is driving her home. After getting rejected for sex, he still gives her a ride home and spends the ride berating her for not giving him sex. What? Nobody does that. Like, even psychos don't do that. They have better methods. I'm sorry, if you're pissed off because you got turned down for sex, you're not giving the chick a ride home. You're like, all right, see ya. Like, what? And in what universe is someone like, oh, well, that's okay. You didn't have sex with me. I'll give you a ride home anyway. but during this car ride, I'm just going to scream at you. What? Which is just absurd. This story, obvious bullshit, because again, this friend of mine, not somebody who struggles getting sex, when he gets turned down, he's like, okay, moves on to the next. I've seen this happen. Also, in the time that I've known him, I have never heard him scream, ever. I've never even heard him raise his voice unless it's to be heard at a loud bar. So, things are not adding up here, basically. But then you look at it, and I'm like, oh, no, actually, what happened makes total sense, right? What happens makes total sense. Let's retell the story in another way, right? Let's pretend that my friend was the girl in this situation, and that the chick was the dude, right? We've all heard this scenario before. Guy takes the girl out, propositions her, she turns him down, he gets mad and gets aggressive and makes her feel bad for turning him down, shames her for turning him down, tries to convince her to sleep with him anyway, classic douchebag stuff, and then when he doesn't get his way, calls up their mutual friend and slut shames her, like, look at this dirty whore, blah, blah, blah. So everyone thinks he's just a charming old dude. Yeah, douchebags do that. We know this. This is like a classic douchebag story. Being done by a woman. Because that is actually what SJWs want, by the way. They don't want equality. They don't want to fix problems. They just want to flip the script. They just want it so that, oh yeah, all of those toxic masculine behaviors we're railing against, we don't actually want them to go away. We just want to be able to do them ourselves. Which was like, case in point, when I'm talking to the friend of the friend of the friend afterwards and trying to be like, look, your story doesn't make any sense. That's the same thing, right? We have a categorical history over the previous century of believe the man, disregard anything the woman says because she's a woman. So all this was the same thing in reverse. Oh, well, just believe everything the woman says because she's a woman and just disregard what the man says because fuck toxic men. Like, you're not fixing anything. You're just recreating it where like, and that's the whole thing is like, I'm sorry, it's even more bullshit. Like, I'm sorry, you woman today who grew up the way things are now, like, yes, things aren't perfect, there are problems, there are issues, shit happens. But in this particular climate, I'm sorry, you're the one who deserves the role reversal of power, you're the one who deserves that vindication, not women in the 50s, not women prior to that, not the women who actually, like, were very confined in what they were able and allowed to do with their lives. No, you do. Ms. Woke Bitch, well, I'm turning the tables now and getting back for a history of oppression. And I'm going to take it out, of course, on men who are, as good as they've ever been because these conversations have been happening for the past 80 years or more. So it drives me crazy. It's like, that's, you cannot, you want to walk around with your textbook, toxic masculine bullshit, ideology and apply it to men as a whole. You can't sit down, I mean, first of all, it's bad, but second of all, you can't sit down one-on-one with a man and be like, you're a toxic man, here's why. Like, people are things. A person is not just the embodiment of all of your negative stereotypes, which is just that. Like, I'm sorry. So you don't want me to stereotype other races and minorities, etc., because not all those stereotypes apply to all of those people, even though the stereotypes came from somewhere. In many cases, in most cases, a lot of these stereotypes came from somewhere, came from patterns of behaviors, and there are members of those communities who exhibit those patterns of behaviors. I'm supposed to take it on a case-by-case and not just assume that because one person is part of this larger group, that they have all of the qualities associated with that group. That's what I'm supposed to do, which applies to apparently everybody except white men. So that's all they're seeking to do here. It's like not fix anything, not improve anything, not get better. Let's just take the white man and just turn him into the hated minority. That's all, because we have to have a hated minority. Society doesn't work otherwise. We don't understand how to move forwards out of our existing paradigms, out of our crazy little system of tribalism, and become good people and become better people. Nah, we just have to flip the script. Oh, these guys haven't been oppressed. Let's do it to them. Let's see how they like it. Ha 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 ha. Because that's totally gonna work. That's totally the idea of progress, right? I mean, just fucking blows my mind. Sorry, I'm trying not to swear. But I had to express that to you guys because I mean, like, oh my god. Oh my god. I hope one day this chick sees this and is like, I'm a loser. Please, God. Or maybe she just kills herself. I don't really care. We don't need her in this world. Is that harsh? Who cares? I don't care. Anyway, I am back. I'm excited to be back. I'm excited to be yelling-ish again. I have so many feelings. This has kind of sparked a little bit of like a hardcore SJW-esque rantscapade that we might be going on the next few days together. But I am going to Sydney next Wednesday. Yes, it is happening. If you would like me to be less poor when I come back from this trip, the GoFundMe is still active. I would absolutely love for you to help my life suck less there, because the better it is, the better quality videos I get to give to you. It's all, you know, symbiotic. We're helping each other out is what I'm saying. But expect some awesome videos coming from Sydney next week, and just awesome stuff in general. Also on Patreon, and I'm working really, really hard to just make that the best community I can and give you as much content on there as possible. So if you haven't, please consider joining that. Don't forget to hit the notification bell, the like button, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. That's what keeps me going, yelling for you. And you guys are fantastic, and I'm so glad to be back, and I'll talk to you all soon.